We're in for another treat today. I'll say more about him in a minute, but my buddy Spook Handy is here. He's going to talk to us about the importance of folk music for the revolution and lots of other stuff, and do some music this morning. And after the service, we're going to take about a 10-minute break, and then he's going to do a short set of music for us afterwards. In a former life, I used to run a concert series at a retreat center in Zirconia called Tig's Pond. It was named after the dog who loved to swim in the pond. And we had this beautiful, we called it a cabin, but it was really beautiful, elegant, convening performance space. And Spook, I booked him for one of our concerts because I've known Spook for a long time. We were doing some really fun stuff in New York together, and he was always playing at the coffee house I was running there. Well, Lucy and Beth had their first date at that concert with, don't mean to embarrass you, but this is such a joy to see the circle come back around. Yeah. Would any of our newcomers like to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, hi, I'm Spook Handy.
Welcome. Leah?
I'm Leah. I just moved to the area exactly a month ago.
Welcome. We're so glad you came this morning. It takes a lot of courage to go to a new place for the first time. We're glad you're here.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And I'm Jim. I just moved next to Bob and Nancy about 8 months ago.
Yay! And Jim came this morning bringing gifts. Look at these beautiful flowers he brought. Wow. Bravo.
They're leftovers. They were given to me, so.
Yeah, well, we share. That's beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Yeah. Are there any announcements that we need to be aware of? Anything going on to bring to the community's attention? Yeah.
There's a White Oak Mountain tour next Saturday that the Polk County History Museum is sponsoring. And the tickets are $50, and they have 5 vans that are going to be leaving Polk County History Museum, and we'll be going up White Oak Mountain. There's 4 or 5 stops. Susan Spate is the author of the beautiful history book on the White Oak Mountain and Tryon Peak. So if you're interested, you connect with the Polk County History Museum.
Wow, that's so cool. So much going on around here. Yeah.
With respect to that, in case you're interested in having a preview of what Susan might have to say, the Tryon History Museum YouTube channel has got her talking about Oak Mountain. So just look it up on YouTube.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, and Spook, you need to get to know Ellen. She worked for how many years? 30 years in the non-nuclear.
Well, I've been working for nuclear weapons abolition since 1984, and I was out in front of the White House for 18 years.
Yeah, out in front of the White House for 18 years. Bravo! I was just thinking about Spook being here today. I was reminiscing about Pete Seeger, and I did a little quick search and see what other interesting items about Pete can I find out. And ran across a concert or an interview he did with a radio show called Living on Earth in 1980. It was all about abolition of nuclear weapons. So, yeah, good stuff. I have a little bit of an announcement. My long-awaited TED Talk has dropped now. You can find it. Kathy, I think, has seen it maybe. Yeah. With fear and trembling do I mention this, because, boy, it took a lot out of me. Talking about my experience in New York City after 9/11, and then my journey to forgiveness, and working through the quagmire, the obstacles that I was facing personally and professionally. And so after several months, it was fine. The edits are finally finished, and it's up. If you want to see it, you can just do a Google search on my name and TEDx, and it'll pop up.
It's also on our Facebook page.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Kathy. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, it's on our Facebook page. And Spook's concert will be recorded today, so please tell everybody who wasn't here, they'll be able to access it there with Spook's permission. Yeah. Spook did a concert at Takes Pond, as I mentioned, and I had basically the same setup of a camera like this, and I always set it up in front, so it had a nice zoom and an intimacy with the performer. And somewhere during one of the breaks, someone bumped into it. So the second half of the concert is a beautiful view of the wall. But the music is still there, right, Spook?
I never saw it.
You never saw it? Okay. I'll have to find that for you. Okay. We'll have our lighting the chalice now. So Paul is on board to do that with us today. So you're looking forward, Paul.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I think I can project. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Recently on the internet, I came across a set of observations. An individual was reviewing his life, and he started with like 50 of them. And, don't worry, I won't go through them all. And they were very insightful, I thought, and interesting, and it was this person's life lessons. And I wanted to read 3 of them to you, ones I found effective to me. I've learned that it's a lot easier to react than to think. And I've learned that either you control your attitude or it controls you. And I've learned that there are people who love you dearly, but they just don't know how to show it. And I've had, as I get older, I've learned out about people that I thought wouldn't give me the time of day, and it turned out that they were actually very fond of me, but they didn't know how to show it. So.
Chief Seattle says, "All this we know, all things are connected. Whatever befalls the earth befalls the sons and daughters of the earth. Man did not weave the web of life, he is merely a strand in it. Whatever he does to the web, he does to himself. But we will consider your offer to go to the reservation you have for your people. We will live apart and in peace, and we will carry on there." It was his speech talking about the transition, that he was making, and the native peoples were making, moving to a reservation, and in doing that, they were more empowered to care for the created order with deeper commitment and more heart. "When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things, who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting with their light. For a time I rest in the grace of the world, and I am free." Now I'd like to move quickly to bring Spook Handy up. Spook is an old friend, as I've mentioned to many of you. Spook is one of the troubadours of the folk music tradition. He's a young man, but he's been around for a long time. He did over 50 concerts with Pete Seeger.
Wow.
Yeah, including a concert we did for the 10th anniversary of 9/11 in New York City at NYU. And Spook brought Pete along for that, and what a day that was. As I said, he's an old friend. He's a musician. He's won many awards for his music, and you'll find his music deeply touching and humorous and always powerful and inspiring. So Spook, come on up.